What's up, heathens? How ya doing? I'm the Godless engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today, we're going to be taking another look at red pen logic. This channel is run by Barnett, who works for Stand to Reason. Today, he's throwing shade at mythicism.
If you close your eyes to the evidence, then you won't be able to see it. But that doesn't mean it's not there. Maybe you just need to open your eyes. This is Red Pen Logic with Mr. B, where we help you assess bad thinking by using good thinking. Plus, we try to have some fun in the process. In today's tweet, Eater makes the incredible claim that there is no documentation for Jesus' existence except for the Bible. Just saying. The implicit assumption is that if the Bible is the only historical documentation we have for Jesus existing, then we don't have good reason to believe he actually existed. What color pen should we use today? Just kidding.
Did you just throw all those pens at a cat? What kind of dick are you there, Tim? I'm just kidding. But yes, essentially, the only documents that we have that attest to Jesus even existing in the early first century is the Bible. Well, specifically the individual books that are in the Bible. We've got Paul's writings, who are in fact the first writings about Jesus, and then we have the Gospels, which really it's just one gospel, Mark, and Mark's gospel influenced all the other gospels. But even still, even if we just had one document that reliably admitted that Jesus existed in history, that would be enough to just assume that Jesus existed in history. But does the Bible actually do this? Does Paul's writings actually admit to Jesus being here on earth? I don't think they do, but we're going to see what Tim has for us today to prove that Jesus existed on earth. Alright, before we begin Tim's video today, I do want to remind you guys about the Godless app. If you want to get peer-reviewed information on early Christianity and how Jesus probably didn't exist in history, then definitely check out the Godless app on your respective app store. I only ever use peer-reviewed information in the app, so you can be sure that you have the best information about early Christianity and whether or not Jesus existed. So go on ahead and check that app out today. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Tim's video.
You may be surprised to hear that there are some people who think Jesus never existed. They believe Jesus is a mere myth with no historical evidence to back him up. This, my friends, is simply false.
Oh shit, is it? I would be happy to know what kind of evidence do you have. I mean, I've already laid out how Paul's writings are the most independent sources that we could have for Jesus. So I'm kind of wondering, what kind of documentation do you have to support this idea that Jesus did exist in history? Hopefully you'll bring up some good ones that I haven't heard of yet. That'll make me think, maybe I should reconsider my mythicism. You know what? I should just go ahead, go to my app and take it down now before y'all buy it.
And it's not only false, it's foolish. At least that's the word that world-class Bible scholar and agnostic skeptic Bart Ehrman uses to describe what he calls Jesus' mythicists.
Oh my God, not Bart Ehrman. So are you literally going to lead off with a appeal to authority right off the bat? Are you serious? Fuck me.
So why don't you take it from here, Bart?
I think that atheists have done themselves a disservice by jumping on the bandwagon of mythicism, because, frankly, it makes you look foolish to the outside world. If that's what you're going to believe, you just look foolish.
But Bart, is there any historical evidence for Jesus' existence?
You know, I'm really not all that convinced by Bart Ehrman just berating the mythicism position. I don't know why anybody would consider this all that convincing. I'm more convinced by the evidence, which he just brought up, like, well, what evidence is there? And so I'm wondering if Bart actually talks about real evidence that supports Jesus existing in history. Bart Ehrman's book, Did Jesus Exist? And his whole position on Jesus existing is very notable for being just the poorest argument to establish that Jesus existed in history. It's ripe with Christian bias all throughout it. He uses the same bad arguments that all of the other Christian New Testament scholars and all that use it. Like, they're exactly the same. It's bad. They don't support the conclusion, but everybody always turns to him, which technically, I don't know if you guys know this, but Bart Ehrman's not a historian. He's a textual critic.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I have a whole book on it.
So there's a little bit of evidence.
There is a lot of evidence. I mean, there is so much evidence.
Like how much evidence?
It is not, I mean, I know in the crowds you all run around with, it's commonly thought that Jesus did not exist.
There's just so much evidence, I can't even name one thing that is included in this mountain of evidence that we have for Jesus. Really? If I say that there's substantial amount of evidence for evolution, I have a list of things that I can point to. Like like chromosome 2 in human beings, or the fossil record, or all of the experiments that we've been able to do on how features propagate throughout a group of organisms. Or we could point to, those finches on the Galapagos, or we could point to any number of things. We can point to physiological similarities between living animals now, and we can see evolution. When I say that there's a lot of evidence for evolution, I'm saying that I can name off multiple different things. But it kind of seems right here like Bart's just like, there's so much evidence out there, I just don't even know I can't even pluck one particular source out of my fucking cranium right now. There's so much evidence.
Let me tell you, once you get outside of your conclave, there's nobody this is not even an issue for scholars of antiquity.
But surely there must be some scholars of antiquity who doubt Jesus' existence.
Well, there are scholars that doubt. There are experts with degrees in relevant fields. I probably got like a picture from my app up here of all of the experts that we have in that have degrees in relevant fields that doubt the historicity of Jesus. So when we talk about experts in the field, or these scholars that like Bart Ehrman is talking about, how no scholars of antiquity doubt the historicity of Jesus, what he's talking about here are Christian historians and New Testament scholars. Those are the people that he's talking about here. Now, there are outliers like Bart Ehrman and other atheist scholars out there that do think that Jesus existed in history. But the overwhelming majority of people in this particular section of historians and scholars of antiquity are primarily Christians that are primarily bound by dogmatic statements they had to sign when they either graduated from their divinity schools or when they went to go and teach for a theological or divinity school.
I think the girls with their nails done now.